Time for more dissecting. Today we're going to go even deeper into the internal anatomy of a perch. It's time to study the eyes of our fish. For most of the kids in classrooms, when they do their dissection, the eyes are usually one of the coolest parts. When they're all done, they go, man, those eyes were cool. But the problem with eyes, especially on a perch, they're pretty small, they're pretty hard to see. The idea, the way the eyes work though, they work the same basic way that our eyes work, so we need to try and figure that out before we actually look at the eyes. Of course, the one big difference between the eyes of a fish and the eyes that you and I have is that there are no eyelids anywhere on that fish. So here's your good tip for the day. No matter what, don't ever try and get yourself into a staring contest with one of these perch. I guarantee you're going to blink way before they ever do, and you will lose. So now we've covered the big important fact. Let's look at a few more parts inside the eye of our perch. In order for the fish's eye to work, it needs light. The light has to get into the inside of the eye, so there's almost a hole in the fish's eye. It's not really a hole. It's kind of like the little window in a room that would let the light come in. This clear spot in the center of the fish's eye is called a pupil. When the light goes into the fish's eye, passes through the pupil into the eye, there's like a little clear ball inside of there. It looks like a little marble. It's called a lens. And the lens focuses the light inside the eye, just like the lens on a telescope would do, and then it allows the light to shine onto the back of the fish's eyeball. Way back there, deep inside the eyeball, is a layer of cells called a retina. And the retina works almost like a solar panel on the fish. When the light hits the retina, the retina turns the light into electricity, and then it has that electricity and it has to send it somewhere. The electricity gets sent off to the fish's brain, a very short distance. The brain is right here on a nerve, and the special nerve that carries the electricity from the eye to the brain is called the optic nerve. So we're going to try and get an eyeball out of our fish, find as many of those parts as we can, and see if we can explain it. So we're going to flip our fish and try and get an eyeball out and try and find the parts. And the eyeball's held inside of the eye socket by all kinds of muscles. Kind of hard to get out, so we'll try and get underneath there, grab the eyeball from underneath, pull it out, and we'll see if we're lucky. We'll get a nice optic nerve to come along. There's the, kind of see it hanging down there on the bottom. We have the eyeball out with the nerve coming off of there. And what we want to do is to try and get the lens out from inside. So here we have a nice fish eye. I'm going to try and grab it with the tweezers. There's lots of liquid inside of the eye that the lens kind of floats inside of. So we'll cut through there, cut that into two pieces, and we will see if we can get that fish's lens to pop right out. Remember, we said the lens kind of, there it is, it kind of looks like a little BB or a little marble. It's clear. The light shines through there. Here's our fish lens. You see how cool that looks? We'll try and clean it off a little bit. And that is the fish's lens, similar to what all other eyeballs have inside of them, a lens. The light goes through that lens. It hits the retina at the back of the eye. We can't really see that because it's just a layer of thin cells back there. But the retina would turn the light into electricity and kind of zap it off to the fish's brain through that optic nerve. And I don't remember, I think there's our optic nerve. You can just see a little piece of it hanging down. The other end of that optic nerve, remember, what would it be connected to? Be connected to the brain of the fish. So that's all the parts of the eyes. Pretty complicated, but really cool if you think about how this fish's eye works exactly the same way really that your eye works. So next time, come back, we'll do some more internal anatomy on our fish and go even a little bit further. See you then.